Hey everybody, just sort of carrying on from the GeneratePress FleXections experiment. A topic came up on Elementor forum on Facebook, which was basically discussing about whether or not to design with mobile in mind first. But yes, obviously everyone considers how mobile is going to react. But the considerations with using a page builder such as Elementor with its sort of static sections and columns for laying out a grid does require you to sort of design with desktop first and then to tweak the responsiveness for each of your mobile pages. So, which in some ways slightly counterintuitive, as I like to design with the sort of order of the stack and with a mind of how it will appear first from a readability view on smaller screens. So just quickly to kick off, and this is really experimental, so I'm not too sure of exactly all the outcomes, but what we can see here is just some straightforward single column sections, and just to mix it up a little bit, I've embedded a flip box and a two column section, and then different elements with titles and such as a button. So if we quickly switch over to view the page, what we can actually see is we just have our elements stacked, and if we jump into responsive view, there's nothing fancy. It literally just rescales the screen accordingly. So just moving back to the main editor view. Okay, if we now apply a little bit of Flexbox magic, it's taking a little bit of tweaking. There's nothing fancy. I mean, there's very limited classes being added here. We have some section classes and some containment classes, which once applied to a section, you literally just duplicate sections. So there's no real manual labor work. So now with the CSS applied, and we now run it, let's see what we get. There we go. We now have flexible sections built in Elementor, and the content reflows and resizes where possible and accordingly. And at some point, they would obviously the elements would just stack. You can even see the flip boxes here will revert into a column form where they can squeeze beside another column. Yeah, so it goes to show it's possible. Now it does obviously have some repercussions, and I wouldn't expect to design a page like this, but of course what we can do is possibly design some flexible templates. So let's just give this a go. Let's see what happens. So let's have Elementor FleXection. Okay, so there we go. We've got our page template saved, and if we quickly jump back to the WordPress dashboard and quickly go and make ourselves a new page, so we'll call this Test Flex Elementor. Okay, and we're going to need something that's designed for page builders, so we'll just create that to a full width, and then we're just going to publish that, and we're going to jump into the editor, and from here we're going to add ourselves from the template library my new template, insert, and there we go. We now have our section in. So if we quickly run over, have a look at responsiveness of the page, and quickly flip over, what we're hoping to see is the main headings. Okay, no padding and stuff. Okay, so there's some tweaking to be done, but generally it's just a quick demonstration to show that the flexible template library is now in place. And what happens as we rescale is that, yep, the header and the title still remains responsive, and there's the mobile kicking in, and the template itself actually flexes and flows. So probably we can create some clever templates for galleries and types of other effects using this particular technique. So hope it gives you some food for thought, and maybe even the Elementor guys might think about at some point having some sort of flexible grid mechanism in their build. So hope you enjoyed.